gratitude is maybe a word that has been slightly forgotten in our recent times. We very often tend to neglect all the things that have been given to us around us, no matter your situation. Um, if you're probably listening to this, you probably have a phone. I hope that you're also somewhere safe, that you have a hot shower, you have hot water running in your house, that you have internet to watch this video on. You probably also have some sort of food. It may not be the healthiest one or the best meal or the most luxurious one, but you may have some food with you too. And even if you don't have most of the things that I said, other than maybe a device to watch this, I'm really sorry for this, but at least you're probably still breathing. Your heart is most probably as well still beating, and at least you are alive. And I'm guessing that things might be tough for you, that you might be going through a lot, but I want you to also remember that you probably have much more than you might think, or you might just not appreciate how much you have just because you're all constantly comparing yourself or the amount you have to others. And even if that's the case, it's true. Some people really have a lot more than you do. Maybe whether it's materialistically, maybe even spiritually. But I think that a change, or if you want to change anything about your current situation, whether you don't or when you want, but I'm certain that most people are not really satisfied with their current position. They don't really like, well, they may not like their job, their positions. They may not like the level of their expertise. They may not like the amount of skills they have. They may not like their house, their home, the food that they eat, or the things they have access to. They might not find it enough. They might find it insufficient, and insufficient to meet their wants, and maybe even their needs, or hopefully only their wants. But if you or anybody you know really wants to change something about their life, I think we should all start by first surrendering to what we currently have and really just appreciating the fact that we're given the chance to be here on this earth for one more day. And it's true, I'm probably much more blessed than a lot more people around me. I do have a very nice home. I have access to education. I have family and friends around me that love me. I have a very comfortable bed to sleep on. I have a good supply of resources by my parents still while I'm studying. I agree, I'm probably more blessed than 99% of the people in the world, and that is true. And that may not be the fact for a lot of other people, and I know that. I know that there is a lot of social inequality, and people around the world are probably very sad. But for those who may be in the same situation as me, or at least for nearly the same situation as me, and you're watching this right now, I want you to start by just appreciating the amount you have, and really to begin to share what you have with others. Not necessarily giving a ton of money, not necessarily even just becoming some sort of a volunteer somewhere in an organization. It may simply be just by smiling at a person that passes by that may otherwise be grumpy. It may simply be giving a hug to someone that's in pain. Just giving a hand to someone that needs it. Sitting down to talk with someone to discuss his difficulties. And even that's a lot already. But for me, it's kind of weird that almost none of us does this. Instead, we are lost in a loop of comparison, in a loop of constant dissatisfaction, of lack of gratitude that just keeps accumulating, and that just keeps making us more unhappy, making us desire more, want more, making us just stray further from ourselves and wanting to become someone else, until all of us, one day or another, no more just not know who they actually are. And that's when you truly feel lost now. And this all may be too philosophical, and you may be wondering, why am I discussing all of this at all? Well, it's simply observations I've been making throughout the years of my relatively short life for now. It's observations I think that are important, that have helped shape me as some sort of an individual. And once you may establish a bit more gratitude in your life, or maybe have become aware of it at least a bit more now, I want you to also think about presence. And when was the last time when you were truly present for just a couple of minutes? Not wondering where you are, where you were, not wondering what you will do in 5, 10 minutes, in a day, or in a week, or a month, in a year. Not thinking about a past, not being nostalgic, not desiring when a certain thing will end, when a certain thing will begin. Just when it starts or when it ends, again, to be lost somewhere in the future or in the past. Just when you're, or in this moment that you have been desiring, actually just thinking about when it will end, how much more time is left. And it's something that I think, at least I think a lot of us find normal. A lot of us find it normal not to be present. A lot of us find it normal just to be lost in time. You may be here physically, but at least for me, it's kind of weird and even sad that we're almost never here mentally. And I think, and why I'm saying this is that this really makes a lot of people unhappy. This makes us in a constant, gives, at least for me, I've noticed, and I think I've noticed for other people, it gives a feeling of being lost, a sense of not having a direction of any sort. It makes you stressed. It prevents you from living, literally, because you're never truly living in the very present. Although the only thing that's truly existing is the now, and nothing else. Now, this of course doesn't mean that you shouldn't plan, that you shouldn't think ahead, but ask yourself, should we really be, maybe 99% of the day, lost in time? And only maybe one, or I think even one is a lot, less than that, be somewhere else, in discussions about what happened, what has been, what could have been, about politics that were before, that may be. Yeah, it is true. It's important to have some sort of an idea of where you're going. But if you're always lost in the idea of where you're going, and you're never in what you are doing now, then how do you even establish the thing that you were planning? How do you do what you planned when you're always planning? Or when you're always reflecting? Yeah, we're still doing our tasks. We have our habits that help us get throughout the day. And it's true that when there is a task at hand that is more challenging, we very often become present. But I think, and the next time that you get a challenging task at hand, I want you to start noticing that you won't be able to solve it until you're truly, really in the task. But that's not always only for solving problems. The case is the same for when. Hmm. But that is not only for solving problems. Actually, I think I've noticed that in general, the more people are living in the present, the happier they are. I mean, think about the times when you were truly happy, when you were truly full of joy, not because of some lucid drug that you took, or maybe because you were drunk, but just because you were simply happy. It may be a moment when you were with your friends, with your family, with your close ones. It may also be when you were alone and doing something that you like, when you were gazing at the stars or the sunset, or any other view that you like. Think about this moment and think, were you happy because you were again planning ahead, or were you also just present? And I think that's something else which a lot of us should kind of work on, to just be more present, to not worry about a deadline, and instead just try to do our best right now, because that's really all we can do. To not judge ourselves of what could have been, because then you're just gonna judge yourself again in about one day about not doing the thing you are doing now. We're living in times when, for which our brains are just not designed to be. And they probably won't be for another 100 years or so, or 1,000 years. They won't be able to adapt as quickly unless we are able to manipulate them in one way or another. Which I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of, but what can I do about it? Probably nothing. But until then, we are with our brains. And at least for me, I think we're gonna be happier if we're simply present and we try to do our best right now. If we try to do what we think is best right now, no matter what happened, because a lot of things we cannot plan, because the world is simply chaotic. And we're not alone in this world, and that's probably better. A lot of things can happen that you simply couldn't take into account because your brain cannot comprehend it, and that's okay. That's very okay. Then we should just try to adapt and do what we can now, instead of just worrying again about things not turning out as we want it to be. And instead, again, just surrendering. And who am I? Why am I talking all of this bullshit right now? Maybe it's not bullshit. Maybe you actually found it useful, as I did. But, well, I'm just a kid for now, I would say. I mean, not legally, but I feel as a kid. And I'll probably do feel like as a kid for many more years. Um, my whole goal with this channel, or in general, what I want to do in life, is just I want to help people. For now, I'm not too sure how, in what way, but I know I don't want to help people like a doctor exactly. Although I'm extremely interested in nutrition and biochemistry, and I do want to even study this in the very near future. But I want to help people in a more sustainable way. I want to help people with their habits, with their thoughts, not as a psychologist would do, but more as a friend. I, of course, want to create something that will work towards this goal too. But also want to help those which are truly in need. Those who have so little, but are still living, still have the strength to wake up and go on for another day. And a lot of them are actually still grateful for the little they receive more than a lot of us are for the many things that we have. I want to help those people too, because sadly there are around a billion or even more of them that are in huge needs around that right now. I will probably not be able to help all of them, but if I can help as many people as I can, I will be happy. And why am I starting with the Minecraft recording, with me speaking over the Minecraft recording more precisely? Well, I do believe that things also don't have to be too serious. Things don't have to be too always way too adultish, if I can say it this way. We can sometimes just create good stuff even when we're a bit more relaxed. When we are not thinking of everything or taking it too seriously. And I want to begin with this type of mindset that you can make a good change even while having fun, or while not needing to be too lost in calculations and finance and so what is the next best marketing strategy. But I would like to just start simple. I would like to begin with something I know I can maintain for a while, just until I create a habit. And I first just want to gain an audience, but I don't want any individual audience. I really want to connect with people that, or at least get attention to people that want to help as well. Even if it's just giving a hand to a stranger when you see him falling on the street, or any similar act to this. And that's my vision for now. That's my vision. I don't know how I'll get to it. But one thing I know is that it will begin with Minecraft. And you will see me doing at least a couple of dozen other Minecraft recordings where I just speak on random topics. They may be educational. They may again be philosophical. Sometimes they may be even just me playing the game. And that is just to begin. I don't know how it will continue, but I'm grateful for anyone who decides to join me on this journey, and I will try to remain present and not think too much about the future for now. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this rather philosophical talk, and I hope I do see you, or that at least you watch my future videos. If you found them interesting, if you found this one interesting, of course. Otherwise, don't bother, of course. I'm not forcing anyone here. I want them to enjoy it as well. Thank you for listening, and whether you want to subscribe or not, it's your decision. But nevertheless, thank you for taking this time, this 15 minutes or so, for listening me talk. For now, goodbye. Bye bye.